Okay, we're live. So let's talk about the recaps of what's been going on throughout the past week, this past weekend on Sunny TV, Arsenal. And here we go, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like the videos, and share if you can. I really appreciate that. I'm here with my guest Steve. Steve, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you doing, kid? How are everybody out there?
Chilling,
Good
man.
to see you all.
I went to Arsenal game this weekend. I don't know if you guys checked out the match vlog. That was nice. It was a good time going to the game. That was the first game I went to this season. Probably second game I've ever been to overall. And I'm 2 for 2. I've gone to two games and they're both victories. So I'm happy.
Oh, you have to go more often, mate. Keep
Yeah.
going.
So let's start off with the first game of the week, which was the Liverpool versus Bournemouth game. Did you catch that game?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I caught that game.
And the game finished 2-1 with the first goal being Bournemouth's goal. And there was a lot of controversy because people said Callum Wilson pushed Gomez, and that should have been a foul outside of the box for Liverpool before the goal was scored. So what did you think? Did you think that was a goal, or did you think that should have been chalked off?
No, I mean, if I was a striker and that was chalked off, I'd be very disappointed. You know, there was a slight push, and the defender, you know, made a meal of it. But you know, you get that the other way round when it's the defender and the attacker the other way. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. He made a meal of it. There was nothing wrong with that goal. Perfectly good goal from Wilson. It's good to see him get his scoring boots back because he's been been suffering lately. He's he's probably Bournemouth's only real goal scorer. And if he doesn't score, then Bournemouth are normally in trouble. And he's going to have to keep scoring because if he doesn't, then they're looking relegation in the face.
Him and Josh King are the only guys they really have like that are big goal threats, I would say. Also, Harry Wilson on loan has been good for them from Liverpool, but he couldn't play in this game because he's on loan from Liverpool. The first 20 minutes, Bournemouth looked comfortable, but then Liverpool came and just Mo Salah, Mane passed him the ball. It looked like the play was done. And then somehow he got a shut off goal, and then Van Dijk basically just threw ball straight into Mane's feet, goal, and then you're like 2-1 up. Liverpool just kept it comfortable, got it professionally done, and just ended the game just like that. And it was like, yes, Bournemouth had some chances to equalize, but honestly, once they went up 2-1, you knew Liverpool were going to keep it comfortable. And guess what? If we beat Man City, Liverpool can win the league at Everton away on the weekend.
What a place to win the league at, eh? Similar to us at Tottenham. I mean, we won the league at White Hart Lane. So
twice we've won the league at White Hart Lane. So
twice, yeah. Don't forget twice.
So that's a good way for them to keep it up. But hey, if they don't win the league this week, they win their next two games, they win the league regardless. And then guess what?
I mean, it's done and dusted, is it? I mean, they're not the Liverpool at the start of the season, are they? You know,
guess what? We could end up having to give them a guard of honor at the Emirates. Man City could end up having to give them a guard of honor at the Etihad. And imagine the scenes: Raheem Sterling having to clap Liverpool as they win the cup.
No,
that would be hilarious.
I don't think they mind either way, would they? You know, I mean, after what we done to them in '89, you know, I bet they'd love a guard of honor at the Emirates.
Yeah, that was something else. Though.
Nathan Ake played very well for Bournemouth. I mean, he was sort of the star for Bournemouth.
I would take him. I would take him in a heartbeat.
He was excellent.
I would take him in a heartbeat. But if Bournemouth go down, they're not coming back up in a while. Like they are not going to be coming back up anytime soon because they're losing a lot of their talent. I bet you if they go down, especially Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake deserves to be at a good club. Like
it's like we buy
at least a Leicester or West Ham, but I think he could end up going to Tottenham or Arsenal if we end up getting a good deal.
I think he's got the quality. I think he's undoubtedly got the quality to be at a top 6 club.
Okay, so there's going to be a lot of 1-0s and 0-0s this week. So I'm going to name some games, and then you tell me if we keep it moving or we stop. Obviously, we're gonna stop at the Arsenal game, but let's come back to the Arsenal game after we go over the other games. Crystal Palace, Watford. You want to keep it moving, or you want to stop?
Well, there's not much to say about the Crystal Palace Watford game. I mean, it was a good look. The only thing you can say, it was a nice little present for Roy Hodgson. I mean, he's got another year contract at Palace, so you know, it was a nice little present for him. Aya's got his second goal of the week. He's on full, and Watford, a shadow of the side that beat Liverpool.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say 1-0 to Crystal Palace. They've won majority of their games 1-0 recently. They can't seem to score more than one goal, and they seem to keep a lot of clean sheets. So good job to them. And Gary Cahill's looking like an amazing signing. Arsenal fans, we made fun of Gary Cahill, but hey, Crystal Palace looked like they got a good deal out of him. Getting him on a free and performing the way he is, you can't go wrong with that. Next game, Wolves-Brighton. We're going to keep it moving. It was a 0-0 game. Nothing to talk about here. I don't really remember anything important standing out in that game. Yeah, definitely not going to be in the highlights for match of the day.
No.
Then let's go.
Two shots in the whole game and they were for Wolves. And that was one at the end of the first half and one at the beginning of the second half. And that tells you everything about moving on to the next game.
So next game, Sheffield United Norwich. Now let me stop here for a second. Sheffield United versus Norwich. Sheffield United and Norwich have both been promoted at the same time. Note that Norwich won the championship last year over Sheffield United, over Aston Villa. And Sheffield United looked like the better team. Sheffield United, Billy Sharp, Lundstrom, all these guys, they're just playing out of their skin. Billy Sharp hasn't even played too many games. I think this is his second goal of the season or something like that. But for what they are doing, they are playing a new style of football that a lot of people have not seen before. It's called positionless football, where the center back rotates into the midfield, rotates into the attacking fold, and everyone just rotates into a circle. So it's like a big circle. You could have, at one point, you could have your striker playing in the central midfield, and then at other points, you could have your center back as the left back or the right back. You never really know with these guys, with their overlapping center backs, with their midfielders pushing up into the striking fold, and you have their center backs pushing up into to fill in the winger spots as they have their wingers filling in as center backs. It's just amazing to see. And to me, this is like a new age of football almost. Like it's almost like positionless football, where you have your center back playing as a right back, as a center mid, as a left wing, as a right wing, and as a fullback. That is impressive. And nobody deserves more credit this year as a manager of a lower club than Chris Wilder.
Chris Wilder, yeah. I mean, he could be end up manager of the season. I mean, and just what you explained just then is just like something new to the Premiership. No one's ever seen anything like that, and it's working. It's working against top sides. It's working wherever they play. Yeah. So he deserves a big thumbs up, Chris Wilder.
Yeah, and their top scorers this season and assist makers, like goal and assist contributors. Lundstrom was a center back last year in the championship, and he's playing central midfield for them this year, and he's been one of the most integral pieces. Fleck hasn't scored more than 4 goals in his career in any level, and this year he already is on 5. Like, it just goes to show you, it's a community thing. And these guys were being made fun of for not having too many non-British players, but it just goes to show you don't have to spend millions and millions of pounds. If you have a good system and a good manager, you can perform.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, one British player that they have got is the goalkeeper, Henderson, who's there's no exaggeration with words that the guy this season has been absolutely outstanding for Sheffield United.
Yeah, he's Manchester United. He's a Manchester United player currently, and rumor has it that Chelsea are eyeing to make a move for him if Manchester United aren't interested in keeping him. There's other rumors that are saying Manchester United are looking to get rid of Romero and make him the guaranteed number 2. There's also rumors that he wants to stay at Sheffield United. It's just so many rumors going around this guy. And don't forget about England. People are saying Pickford this, Pickford that, but realistically, Henderson and Pope are pushing Pickford aside, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and those 2 defenders at the back. I mean, they got Baldock and Stevens at the back. I mean, again, two defenders that are on fire this season. They've
O'Connell.
got such good partnership.
Don't forget O'Connell.
I mean, they cost next to nothing. I mean, I'd like to know where they come from. I'd look into it a bit deeper where they've come from. But two centre backs were unknown. But again, that just took the Premiership by storm. And again, just a little bit about Norwich. It looks like they're going to go down, but
100%.
They play some good football, Norwich, at times, don't they?
Yeah, but the thing is, when you have teams who are used to breaking down teams that play football, they're not set up well to play in the Premier League in the sense that they can't keep their style of play up to the levels. Because when they face a Manchester United are good against teams that don't set a low block. When they face Crystal Palace are good against teams that have possession. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter who they face. You have to be able to adjust and play different styles. But to me, it seems like it only works against certain teams and it doesn't work against everybody. You need to be able to adjust. And the manager, I'm happy they kept faith in him, because even the Norwich board, they said they understand if they go down, they're just going to try to come back right up. They're not going to be one of those clubs that wallow in their misery that they've gone down. They're already planning on how they're going to come back up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he's one of these teams that have come into the Premiership this season and be quite happy for the experience. And I can see what Norwich, could come back next year and be stronger for their experience in the Premiership this season. They've got some good players, and we see Jamal Lewis, didn't we? I mean, in last week's show, we was praising him, weren't we? Against Leicester. Yeah, they've got some good players there. The guy in midfield, Cantwell.
He's probably going to be Liverpool now. He's going to be headed to Liverpool.
It's good education for him, and it can only be good for them. And they are going to go down, but next season maybe they'll come back stronger.
Okay, let me go on to Newcastle Southampton. First of all, VAR did a good job. This referee went over to the screen, checked the foul himself, and seen that it's a red card and gave a red card. He initially gave a yellow. So that was impressive. And now, second of all, let me move on to this. Saint-Maximin is probably the most talented player when it comes to getting the ball, picking it up, and driving it from deep. But once he gets into the box, he's like Danny Welbeck. But that is Saint-Maximin, and he's like Traore, but with no finish and not as many muscles, and also a funny hairstyle, and he's French. But Saint-Maximin, I love that guy. He's really good. Joe Linton, probably one of the biggest flops of the league this season. And another thing, Newcastle's manager, I forget his name. What was his name?
Steve Bruce.
Steve Bruce? Yeah. Steve Bruce.
Manager.
He deserves more credit, because the football might be shit. The playing style might be bad. Everything might not be good, but they already have 40 points and they're staying up again this season.
Oh yeah, they're safe. They've done very well. And to go away to Southampton's, not easy.
No, it's not.
That's not an easy match.
Yeah.
I felt sorry. I felt sorry for the Southampton guy who got sent off after 20 minutes. Geppetto. So that made it a lot harder for Southampton. I mean, his father passed away the day before, so it must have been very difficult for him to play. But going away to Southampton, getting a 1-0 win, big thumbs up to Steve Bruce. He seems to be turning it around there.
Yeah, and they can't seem to score goals, but somehow they keep winning these games. And I'll tell you something, I don't know where they're going to get their goals from, because Joe Linton still hasn't scored that many goals. Almiron's not scoring that many goals. Maximin's not scoring that many goals. I don't know where they get their goals from, but it looks like they're going to stay up, and they're already on 35 points. They probably need 5 more points to stay up this season, get that dreaded 40 points.
I mean, they're from the bottom 3. They're 8 points off the bottom 3 now. So, for me, they look safe.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's go on to the last game on Sunday before we talk about the Arsenal game. The Scumbags versus Burnley, and Chris Wood basically is out to retire Lloris. Lloris made a silly mistake. Chris Wood just took it, banged it in. And then when it comes to the other side, there was a penalty. Tottenham were lucky to get that penalty.
Yeah,
Let's be honest here. They were lucky to get that penalty.
they
I
did get
can't.
lucky. Yeah,
And
they
then
always do.
Dele Ali scores it. He does his random celebration, whatever that means. Who knows? But to be honest, what the whole story of the night is what Mourinho said after the game. Mourinho after the game said, "This new signing that we have from France, Ndembele, has had enough time to adjust to the league, and he is just not physically fit enough to play in this league, and it's embarrassing." And he dug into his player, and to me, Mourinho, come on, you can't be doing that. This guy is a talented kid. He came from Lyon. He's really good. He was wanted by AC Milan, Inter Milan, Barcelona, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, and Spurs got him. And you guys paid a record fee for him.
Yeah.
Give him some time.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why he does it. He does it at every club he goes to. He seems to turn on certain players. It always seems to be the young ones. I mean, last season at Man United, it was Luke Shaw, wasn't it? You know, every other week it was Luke Shaw. I mean, he's just picking on him, and picking on him, and he does it wherever he goes, and it can't do the player any good. It can't give him any confidence, and I mean, I've seen the guy play before, and he looks a decent player to me.
Yeah. I don't know what he's on about. Honestly, Ndembele, there's arguably he could be considered a flop, but it's still early, and he does also have 4 goals as a midfielder, so you got to give him a break there. We don't like Tottenham, but to be honest, they deserve the draw.
Apart from that, it was a pretty boring game, actually, wasn't it? There wasn't a lot.
They deserve the draw.
There wasn't a lot going on in that
Burnley
game.
deserved the win, so I honestly think they deserve to lose that game. They worked it out. They got the draw. Good luck. Good job to them. But hey, hopefully you guys lose the rest of your games this season. Now, let's go to Arsenal West Ham. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Were you watching on TV or were you at the stadium?
I managed to pick it up. Yeah, on TV. Yeah.
Okay, so I was there, and I'll tell you something. To experience the VAR live in that way is so entertaining. Honestly. I've never experienced it like that. On TV, from the first second when you see it, you know that it's a goal, right?
Yeah.
But when you're watching it live and you can't see the replay and you don't know what happened and you just see everyone circled around in the middle and you see the referee go like this and you look up and you see it change from VAR checking to goal, decision goal, the whole place goes nuts. And it's even more fun because now you get to celebrate twice. And I wasn't a fan of VAR. But I'm turning around. I'm starting to like it. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not a fan at the moment. I think for me to be a fan of it, the rules have got to change a little bit because I'm still getting this, this fact that people are still being given offside because their fingers offside or their toes are offside. This is still happening. That's got to stop. So for me, I mean, I'm one of the old guard, if you like, football fans, and you know, every time lately now when a goal's being scored, I'm not. It's like there's not been a goal being scored. I've got to wait. You know, it's never sure. There's always like an after effect. It's like, you know, we can't jump up in the air and celebrate. We've got to go. You know, like I think we've got to go with my son, and I've got to say, well, hold on a minute. We've got to wait because every goal now is VAR. You know, nearly every single game. I mean, I'm not a great. Oops, sorry, mate.
I can't hear you.
Everything's VAR. I'm not a fan yet. I think there's things that have got to be tinkered with, but not so much with the VAR, but more with the rules of the game. The rules of the games have got to be changed. Where you know, when the player's offside, it's got to be you know, a body length for something from them lines, and then I think VAR would work.
Okay. Now moving away from VAR, I thought from his performance, Pablo Mari and David Luiz made a lot of sense together in the sense that you felt a lot of comfort when you're playing out the back with them. And the way that the possession, when we were in possession, I felt a lot comfortable with David Luiz and Pablo Mari holding the ball in the middle of the midfield than I would say a Socrates and a Mustafi. because and also Pablo Murray was very impressive to me. I don't know about you guys, but there was times where he would go up for a header, and he would not only win the header, he would come down with the header to the ball to feet over 3 men in the middle of the midfield, and that to me just shows some composure and class that we don't have in the squad, and we didn't have. And Socrates at right back, Bellerin's injured. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is being punished for what he said. I don't know if you've heard what he said, but he basically told Arteta that he wants to play in the midfield and he doesn't want to be a right back. And he's also been late for training, and they're being basically, this is discipline. They're trying to teach him discipline for his actions. And I feel like he might be done with the club with his unprofessionalism and how things have gone. So that is a sad point. And then moving on to the rest of the players, Eddie Nketiah starting over Lacazette. To me, sometimes it makes sense because Lacazette, I feel like there's times where Lacazette he's just gassed quick in games, and like bring him in at the end of the game, his work rate and effort was helping us so much and his little extra composure that he has compared to Eddie, because Eddie's still a little raw. Like he's good finisher, but Lacazette can do a little bit more. And Ozil, I feel like Ozil and Danny Ceballos had a masterclass game. I don't know about you guys and what you've seen on TV, but Danny Ceballos came to every single time somebody had the ball, he was showing for it. Every single time someone looked to the left or right, Danny Ceballos was open, available to receive the ball to his feet and turn and give it to somebody else. And to me, I felt like Danny Ceballos had a really good game. Ozil had a really good game. The problem with Ozil and Pepe on the right is they're both left-footed and they kind of get into each other's way. So that's the one thing I would try to improve. But I like the game overall. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, West Ham started well. It was a bit nervous. We were speaking again about Jared Bowen last week. We said about how he might cause us a few problems, and he did. And but as far as Arsenal goes,
hit the bar in the first minute.
You know, we was a bit lucky maybe to maybe not too down in the first few minutes, but after that, once we got into our stride. You know, you picked out 2 perfect words: class and composure for Mari and Luis. They look like they're going to be a fantastic partnership for us now. You know, we just hope we can stick with them every week. But what's I think is turning into probably one of the best players of the league in his position is Bernd Leno. The guy is just, when we got Bernd Leno in goal and you've got those 2 guys in front of him, it gives you so much confidence, like you said. You know, when the attack's coming forward, where you didn't have that before, you know, and I was happy with a 1-0 win. It's the time in the season where I'll take these type of results all day long.
100%.
But as far as again, just you mentioned Danny Ceballos, my man of the match. He was absolutely fantastic.
Danny Ceballos, yes. Okay, absolutely, so now we're going to move
Danny
on.
Ceballos, he reminds me, maybe a bit over the top, very similar to like an Isco at Real Madrid. And that's probably why they got rid of him. Like they basically couldn't play the same type of player in the same position. So they're thinking, well, you know, we might as well put you out on loan.
Okay, but Steve, now we're going to move on.
Get some kind of deal where we can get him to Arsenal.
Okay, Steve, now we're going to move on. We're going to move on to Everton versus Chelsea and the thrashing of Everton. 4-0. First goal, Mason Mount, near post, off the pass to Pedro. Small arms, Pickford tries to reach, can't get there. And then, boom, it just gets through. And then Mason Mount does the dance. Frankenstein dance. Shout out to Chunks. Now then, you got Pedro scores off an assist from Barkley. Then you got Willian scores off an assist from Barkley. Then you got Giroud scores off an assist from Willian. And then it's just like, you're 4-0 down 54 minutes into the game and you're just looking left and right and you're like, holy shit. So I'm not going to lie to you. What's going to happen what's going to happen this season? Is Chelsea going to try to push for third place in the league, or what? Because like I was hoping they were going to lose this week, but hey,
it doesn't look like Chelsea are going to be one of these teams that are going to be dropping into the Europa League places. And at the moment, it looks like it's going to be Liverpool, City, Leicester, and Chelsea. They've got that young midfield. I mean, it's exciting, isn't it? I mean, it's just so fresh. I mean,
Oh
even at the
man.
back, he's got a mixture of youngsters and,
Oh yeah. How do we
and
forget about Billy
experience.
Gilmore?
Reece James, I love.
Yeah. Don't forget about Billy
Gilmore, I want to
Gilmore.
talk about a bit more later when it comes to a
Yeah.
certain thing, but again, outstanding.
Yeah. Okay,
Incredible.
so we'll move on. Before we finish though, I want to say one thing. Everton, they've done a decent job the past couple of weeks. It's just a bad performance for them. Things happen like that
yeah,
sometimes. And Chelsea to do what they're doing without Kovacic, without Conte, and without Jorginho, that's impressive. You gotta say that. Even if it's Chelsea, sometimes you gotta give people credit when they do well.
And our man
Now,
Olivier Giroud, another good performance from him.
he's not my man. Forget that guy. Ever since the Europa League final, he can go fly kick somebody else. I don't care. Now, let's go to another good performance by a team, the Manchester Derby, where you have Bruno Fernandes
Oh yeah,
just chips over the wall into feet for Martial, where he shoots first time, and let's be honest, Edison should be doing better, but then forget about the first goal. The second goal, Ederson tries to speed up the play, give it to the player on the run, doesn't see Scott McTominay coming. Scott McTominay intercepts the ball and he has to shoot from far. Don't get me wrong. He has to shoot from far, right into the net, curving it right into the net, and does the celebration of all celebrations to win 2-0 against Man City. And I'm going to tell you this. Manchester City did not look like they wanted this game. They just did not look like they cared. And I know that's stereotypical to say, hey, one team wanted it more, but from the beginning, it looked like Manchester City just were okay with possession, okay holding on to the ball, and every time they lost the ball, Manchester United looked like they're on threat. And Bruno Fernandes, this guy has come into the team and he's made it his team. It's actually hilarious. Like, I can't look at this team and say, hey, they're a joke anymore, because defensively they have improved. Make fun of Harry Maguire as you will. They've improved. Right back. Make fun of Aaron Wan-Bissaka as much as you want about his attacking, but his defensive game is on point. Make fun as much as you want as their other defensive options, but they have Lindelof has performed well. Eric Bailly has performed well. Fred has been revolutionary. What do you call it? Matic has been redeveloped. Scott McTominay is coming back from injury, shooting from that long range and just curving it in. Even though it was an empty net, it was. Let's be honest, that was a good setup. That was a good skill right there. Good job.
That was an excellent performance.
Man United. I know this is an Arsenal channel, and we don't like Man United, but we got to give credit where credit's due.
You've got to be honest, haven't you? Yeah. We've got to be. We can't be biased, and we've got to say how it is. And like me and you on here, we do. I thought Man United would. I fancied Man United before kickoff. I just had this feeling that Man City were putting all their eggs into one basket, which is like next week's game against Real Madrid. And,
which is dumb, because it's basically...
they just didn't look at the races against Man United. One bit, Edison was awful. And I think I had this feeling that Man United could have picked them off any time. And you go back to Bruno Fernandes again. I mean, what assist for Martinelli's goal. Absolutely incredible. You can't knock these guys. They're on fire at the moment, and they deserve all the praise that they get.
Okay, and now let's talk about someone who deserves criticism. Raheem Sterling. He has not scored since December. Like, people always talk about Arsenal players that don't score for, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 games. But the man hasn't scored since December. What month are we in now? Can you remind the people what month we're in now? We are in March, right?
We're in March, yeah.
So how many months is that, people? That's basically two months,
4
basically.
months if it was beginning of December.
Yeah, if it was beginning of December, but I think it's near the end of December. But regardless, guys, Raheem Sterling is in very bad form, and no one's talking about it. Let's talk about it. Raheem Sterling, what do you think's going on with him?
I think he's. It seems that again he's like the rest of the Man City players this season. It's like he's given up. He looks like one of these players who doesn't want to be there. I hear he's dropped for tomorrow's game.
Ooh.
So it's excellent timing. You bringing this up because I was going to bring it up for the fact that he'd been dropped. Apparently, Sane's will be taking his place. So this guy, you know, he should be scoring goals. And as you say, for 4 months now, this guy is not. He's not been doing it. And now Pep's going to be dropping.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If the rumors are true and Kevin De Bruyne and Sané are playing tomorrow with Mahrez and Aguero, I'm scared because imagine those 4 attacking us at our defense. I'm scared. But let's move on to the other team, the team that this year has been impressing everybody, aka Leicester City. Right? First, forget about Vardy. Forget about everybody else. Harvey Barnes. I had this guy in my fantasy team. I took him out this week for Ismail Assar. Biggest mistake I made this season so far. The man came out, got an assist based on getting the foul for the penalty. He got a goal. And then when he scored his second goal, I kid you not, I literally just yelled at the TV, "You're joking." Because I was so mad that he scored the first goal. When he scored the second goal, I knew I messed up. Because that would have been a game changer. 17 fantasy points, 20 fantasy points, whatever he got, 19 fantasy points. That would have been a big game changer in my fantasy team. I'm quite upset. I don't know about you, Steve. I'm mad.
I'm mad for you, kid. I'd be mad too. It's happened to me many times. But I mean, just quickly about Leicester. I mean, when they won the league, everyone said, "Oh, it was a one-off. It was a fluke. It would never happen again." And everybody was sort of on the same boat that's how it was. But look, let's face it. If Liverpool wasn't having this mad, crazy season this year, right, it could happen again. So all that talk about it being a fluke, maybe it's not. Maybe Leicester are the new team that should be looked upon as one of the big. You know, obviously they haven't got a big following, but part as a big 6 that can do things.
Maybe they're the new Tottenham.
They could be up there winning the league this year if it wasn't for Liverpool the way they're playing.
Maybe they're the new Tottenham.
Sorry, mate.
Maybe they should replace Tottenham in the top 6.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's no way they're replacing us.
That's no fluke, Leicester. I mean, Vardy scored 2 goals.
As a substitute.
Now he's top goal scorer
as a substitute. So. He came in as a sub, and he scored a penalty, and then he scored a goal. That just goes to show you these kids are amazing. And also, let me tell you something. This kid, Harvey Barnes, he has the most goals from a midfielder in the new year, 2020. The only person who has more midfielder goals than him is not Mane. It's not Kevin De Bruyne. It's Mo Salah. Mo Salah has 7 in the new year. Harvey Barnes has 4. So for everybody, I'm putting him back in my fantasy team. I know you guys should be putting him back in your fantasy team. I'm just letting you know. Harvey Barnes, get to know. This kid is for real. Now, let's talk about what's been going on this week. Who deserves a red card this week? I don't know if we're going to have the same one, but I'll go first for the red card. I don't know what you think, but I'm giving the red card to one person. And that person is Jose Mourinho. Because Jose Mourinho, he seems to have an excuse for everything. He said it's up to the board if they want to win today's game against Burnley or if they want to win the midweek game against Leipzig. He's basically asking the board, which game do you want me to win? Because I'm throwing one of them. Who says stuff like that? He's throwing players on the bus. They get a draw against Burnley. He can't hold his composure. He's saying the only striker he has is Dele Alli when he has a kid on his bench that he could play. Jose Mourinho, get your shit together, get Tottenham relegated, and we're happy.
Over the moon. Yeah. I mean, I picked Jose Mourinho last week for his for not picking Alderweireld and Vertonghen.
So who are you picking
this kid, I can't see. I mean, I wonder how Tottenham fans are feeling at the moment. Whether they wish they would have stayed with Pochettino, but I can't see Mourinho being there. After the summer, and I totally agree with you. But I'm going to go for someone different.
Who?
I'm going to go for. I had to think about it again because it was hard. I'm going to go for Jordan Pickford. I thought he was absolutely awful against Chelsea.
I thought if you're going to go for a goalkeeper, you would have went for Ederson.
Yeah, I mean, I watched C2 of the goals, and I thought that they were disgusting. I could have saved them, and then I looked back and I thought, well, let's have a look at his old performance. And he made a couple of saves, but which all goalkeepers do. But 3 of the goals were awful mistakes from Jordan Pickford, and straight away my mind flicked back to the Sheffield United goalkeeper Henderson, and him being in goal for England and not him. And yeah, it wasn't a good weekend for Jordan Pickford. He won't want to watch that game back again. So for me, the red card for me this week is to Jordan Pickford.
Okay, so I would have went with Ederson if I had to pick someone else beside Jose Mourinho, but Pickford's a good shout. Now, who's the MVP of this week? For you, I already know who you're gonna say, and I think it's Chelsea related. But for me, I'm gonna come back to Leicester. I'm gonna come back to Leicester, okay? And I'm gonna talk about this kid Harvey Barnes. What more do I have to say about this kid Harvey Barnes? He is playing as a right attacking winger, right? And he can also is it right or left? No, he's playing on the left attacking winger.
He's left, yeah.
And he also plays as a left mid, and he can also play as a central mid. But he's mostly been on the wing, and this kid is for real. He is scoring goals, assisting, getting fouled for penalties. He's been contributing directly to plays within the game. He's contributing defensively. He's done everything, and I feel like more people need to be speaking about Harvey Barnes because Maddison gets too much credit for what's going on at Leicester. Harvey Barnes doesn't get enough. Harvey Barnes has been Leicester City's best player besides what do you call it? Soyuncu and Vardy this season. My personal opinion, and I think he deserves more credit, and more people need to be talking about him. Your turn.
Yeah. No, I can't. I totally, agree with what you say. I mean, where did he come from? Did he come from Bournemouth? Did he? Or
no, he was actually on the bench for the title-winning side, I think.
Right.
Like he was an academy player.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's been there for a while, but he went on loan to West Brom, so that's where he went. That's where he learned.
Yeah. No, the guy's quality. He's young. He's fresh. He's just something you want to see in the Premiership, don't it? Week in, week out, and although you don't want to, see him against you on not, when they're playing against you, again, you can't deny, what this young kid's doing. Incredible skill. He plays on the left. He can do everything. He cuts in. He gets crosses in. He can come in on his right foot. He's got a good shot in him. Scores goals, assists goals. I mean, what more can you ask for? What more? And as you said, Maddison seems to be the one that always gets spoken about when Harvey Barnes is just, trotting along doing his stuff.
Yeah. Hey guys, in the comment, let me know who you think was your best player, the best performer of the weekend, and biggest waste man, aka red card player of the week. And Pablo here was saying something. Do you think Leicester City are a bigger club than Arsenal in the past 10 years? I don't think so. I don't know about that, Pablo.
No, I don't know about that one, mate.
Okay, your turn. Who's your player?
Well, like you said, I think you know who I'm going to say, don't you, kid?
Go ahead.
And maybe overall he might have been not been the best player overall.
Can I say one thing before you go?
Go ahead and go. Yeah.
Don't overhype him. Don't overhype him.
No. But it's just that he was. Well, maybe if I hype him a bit too much, then he won't be as good against when he plays against us. But yeah, Billy Gilmore of Chelsea, 18 years old. I was watching it with my mouth open, just what this kid was doing. he was he didn't look out of place. He was running into all the right positions, getting crosses in. You know, for the forward, he seemed to be everywhere. He seemed to be one of these players that was everywhere, and you know, he just impressed me no end. You know, every time there was a a piece of action, Billy Gilmour was there, and I think for 18 years old, that's fantastic, and I think he just deserves my man of the week for that. You know, I thought he was great. What do you think, kid?
I think Billy Gilmour is good, but I feel like we build these kids up and then we destroy them. So we should probably have a level-headed and understand that he's gonna do good. He's gonna do have times, but he wouldn't have been playing if it wasn't for injuries. So let's see how if he does get game time when all those players are back into the team, and if he is actually undroppable, let's see if he doesn't get dropped when those guys come back. Because hearing from like Chelsea fans like Rory and stuff like that talking about how Billy Gilmour is amazing and the Scottish international is going to be the future of Chelsea's midfield and stuff like that. I have to see it to believe it. I feel like it's just hype right now, and we can get carried away with little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he should get a pat on the back for his performance the weekend.
Yeah.
As I say, it was his debut.
Yeah, and, but then the moment they sign a good player, he's going to get his ass kicked.
Don't get too big for it. Don't get, you know, if you're out Frank Lampard, you just got to pull him to one side and say, look, don't get too big for your boots.
Yeah, but hey, if he plays well, if he plays well, they'll keep him in. If he doesn't, then they won't. Now, let me talk about European teams. In Europe, some crazy stuff's been going on in Europe. Juventus and Inter played with no crowd in the arena. Some crazy stuff's going on with coronavirus. I'm not going to act like I know anything about it, but hey, some crazy stuff's going on in Inter, and Juventus played with no crowd, absolutely no one, and I don't know how I liked it. I did not like it at all, because you're listening to the game and all you hear is people yelling, "Hey, ooh, ooh, come here, goal, ooh," and I'm like, why am I hearing this? I don't want to hear this. You know what I mean? I'd rather hear the crowd just yelling and chanting than hear, ooh, ooh. I'm like, get up, stop. The sound effects of football without a crowd is terrible. And there's a reason why people don't want to watch the game without crowds, because without the crowds, they shouldn't even be playing. Just stop playing. And guess what? Now the game has been suspended. So there you go.
Football. Yeah, I mean, it was a big, you know, taking away all that, you know, it was Conte versus, I mean, if the crowd was full, I mean, what a difference it would have been. I mean, it was Conte versus Sarri.
Yeah.
It was a massive game at the top of the Serie A. Yep. I mean, if Inter would have won, they've still got a game in hand, so they could still sort of, close the gap on Juventus. But with, you know, I don't know. Did you know who scored the goals, kid?
Yeah, it was Aaron Ramsey and Dybala.
Yeah. I mean, Ramsey scored, and he also assisted Dybala's goal.
Yeah, so Ramsey scored and assisted, and then now the Serie A shut down. I think they're correlated, don't you think?
Oh, that.
Okay, so yeah, let me just move on.
Happens, doesn't it?
Let me just move on. We make fun of the French league. We make fun of the German league. We make fun of the Italian league. We make fun of all these leagues because they're not competitive. But guess what? The German league, 4 points difference between top two. Okay. Spanish league, 2 points difference between the top two. Italian league, 1 point difference between the top two. And then you go to the Premier League. I don't even know how much is between us. Oh my God. Like, I'm looking at it right now. Wow. 25-point difference between Manchester City and Liverpool.
It's crazy.
So has the Premier League now become a Mickey Mouse league? Because I don't
think so.
Based on
we
this
have this,
season,
like the Europe thing every season, don't we? I mean, one season we're the greatest league in the world, and because our clubs might not do as well in Europe, the following season they were the worst league in the world, and then the next season, you know, we'll have teams that do well, then we're the best. And this is how fickle our fans are. This is how it goes. But you know, one thing that does worry me that we don't seem to attract the players anymore from abroad. You know, the top players, they tend to sort of go to other big clubs. I mean, Man United were after quite a few in the summer, and you know, they was blatantly coming out saying, "I don't want to go there." I mean, that who in the past would have not wanted to go to Man United? You know, Dybala comes to mind. You know, he was begging not to go there. I mean, you know, that's something that worries me.
Yeah, honestly, it's not even like my take or anything. I don't believe that the Premier League is a Mickey Mouse club, but I would just wanted to get that out there because I know that
Yeah,
a lot of
yes.
people keep making jokes about how there's 5 different winners every year, but sometimes when you look at the points differential this year, you got to say, hey, this year the Premier League
Yeah,
wasn't really that entertaining in the sense of
yeah.
who's winning the title. The relegation battle and top 4 race is the entertaining part. But hey, I
I mean, the
wanted to wrap it
relegation
up.
battle was fantastic, isn't it? Again,
Yeah,
relegation and the Champions League places is sort of the excitement every year now, isn't it? It's
yeah.
not
So
who's
yeah,
winning the
Steve,
league.
I wanted to wrap it up. Just wanted everyone to subscribe and make sure everybody subscribes to Sunny TV Arsenal. Check out the other content that we're going to be posting out the rest the next couple of days. Always support the Arsenal. Make sure we keep it going. Sunday we're going to be playing Man City. Hopefully we win that game and we don't face a prime Real Madrid version of Man City. And yeah, do you have anything to say, Steve, before we go?
Yeah, no, it's to say thanks everybody for joining us again. And to say get your you know, your views in the comments. You know, is Mari and Louise, is that the way to go for us now? I mean, give us your predictions for tomorrow's game against City. I mean, is there any possible way we can you know, we can do something against them? And
Yeah.
other than that, no, you know, this as I say, you know, Sunny TV Arsenal, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Share, subscribe if you're new, as
that's
some
it.
people like
Whack
to say.
that